For more than 16 years, April Day has brought her unique passion, intellect, and sheer willingness to her mission to develop communities and improve lives through education and economic sustainability. Her body of work demonstrates that she has always been on the front end of active service, challenging the status quo in order to create, deliver, and preserve programs that achieve her personal goal to change the world. April has strengthened the administrative and fiscal operations of several organizations, helped to prepare thousands of young people for college and life responsibilities, launched a women's business center to support women business owners, managed a total of $8 million in annual budget dollars, and raised in excess of $3.5 million in grant funding. Today, April serves as president of the Women's Business Enterprise Alliance, WBEA. The WBEA is a leading third-party women's business certifying organization representing $9 billion in revenue and more than 40,000 jobs in 94 Texas counties. April's primary role is to increase opportunities for women-owned businesses and corporate members through education programs and professional networking. April gives back to the community by serving on the Port of Houston Authority Advisory Board and the University of Houston Nonprofit Leadership Alliance Leadership Council. She is an adjunct faculty member for the Houston Community College's Center for Entrepreneurship, guest lecturer for the University of Houston Graduate College of Social Work, and a mentor for the Me to We Foundation. April has been awarded the DMARS Magazine Top 30 Influential Women in Houston, Wealthy Sisters Network International Impact Award, Houston Women's Magazine 50 Influential Women in Houston, and the North American University Community Leaders Award. A native of Springfield, Massachusetts, April earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from the U of H and an MBA from Our Lady of the Lake University. She is a proud UH Cougar and a Nonprofit Leadership Alliance alum and a member of the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Inc. Please help me welcome the 2016 Convocation speaker, Ms. April Day.
I love that. I heard that. Thank you, thank you. So I have to say, this is really an honor to be here today and just come back on my old roots and foundation at University of Houston. I definitely want to thank the Graduate School of Social Work and Sharon's leadership for helping me get here, and I definitely want to thank you, Dean, for saying yes. I hear that he says yes to the cause a lot, so it's definitely part of my passion to be here today. And it looks like there's a lot in here, right? But it really isn't, because I know that I stand between you and the congratulations. So I will be brief for you, so that the one thing that you want to remember is you graduating and going out to celebrate with your friends. But the reason why you're on this journey and doing the work of social work, because this is not an easy task. And it is because you probably are pursuing your passion. And if there's anything that's more important in your education and your career, is that you do something where you get to pursue your passion. And not everyone is lucky enough to do that. I remember back in the day when I would tell my mom that I wanted to go to University of Houston so that I can change the world. And she'd be like, oh, that's great. What are you going to do? And at that time, since I was majoring in psychology and getting a certification in nonprofit management, I wasn't as lucky as you all were to go out there and say, I'm going to be a social worker, even though still that name, people don't really get what you do. But I'm going to shed some light on that. But my mom was still proud, because being the first one in my family to go to college, being from a low-income family, no one even thought that I was going to get out of Springfield, Massachusetts. Not only get out of Massachusetts, but go to college, because what my family wanted was for me to marry the deacon of the church. Yeah, that was just not what I had planned for my life. And so my mom, I would go back home to Massachusetts every year, and my brother, went to this awesome prep school and, this really cool college to be an engineer. And I'd go back home, and my mom would tell all of our family, oh, look, Stephen is so awesome. He's an engineer. I'm so proud of him. And April, she went to college too. Honey, what do you do again? I'm not quite sure she still gets what I do. There's no title for it. But all I know is that I had a passion to serve, and I knew that I had to do something, because there were so many people who helped me become the person that I am, to escape those reins of poverty that sometimes hold people down, and do something that I knew that I was purposed for, and that was helping to change the lives of others through service. And I believe that's what you're doing. And so don't apologize. Be blissfully unapologetic about your impact that you're going to have on the world. And so I have a quote for you that you can tell people, and it's by one of my favorite artists, and it's Lady Gaga. You just look them straight in the, yeah, I love her, right? She's like disruptive genius in this little tiny package. But you look them right in the face, and you boldly say, I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Pursue your passion. The other reason why I'm so elated to be here is because I know without a shadow of a doubt that you are going to change lives in a very big and measurable way. Because through all your measurements, all your classes on assessment, you know that you have to measure it. It's kind of like Twitter, what you said, if you don't post it, it doesn't matter. Well, if you don't measure it, it didn't happen. And so we are going to change lives. So I'm going to give you something that you can tell people when they say, what do you do again, sweetie? You can say social work is this very unique and enriching profession with meaning and action. And we, as social workers, have the power to make a difference. And how do you do it? It's because you pull communities together. You pull individuals and families together. You change policy and you promote social justice. You foster human and global well-being. Now, when I said that social workers are amazing, you're more than that. You are disrupting the way we live our lives because you change lives every day by the work that you do. You get to give back in a way that no one else really gets to do because your work is so powerful. So I have another quote for you, and it is by Annie East Nin, and she's a very influential thinker. So you guys will really connect with this woman. Throw your dreams into space like a kite, and you don't know what it will bring back. But what may come back to you is the creation of a new life, a new friend, a new love, a new country. And I just added this. It's a new journey. You do that for yourself. You do that for the communities. You do that for every individual you will touch with the purposeful work you do as a social worker. And more importantly, you're not just any social worker. You bleed cougar red, so you are a cougar social worker. So for those of you who are out there saying, well, how do you measure a changed life? I'm going to give you a story. When I started my journey on the path to change lives, I went right back to the community college that I started out at. And I was probably 20-something years old when I went to this community college. And I started working in a program that was designed specifically to help low-income first-generation students get into college. And when I started that program, we had individuals that said, these are not the kids that are supposed to go to college. These are the kids that are supposed to go straight into the workforce. And that may be true. There may be some kids that are going to go straight into the workforce. But I knew that if a child didn't want to go straight into the workforce and they wanted to get a college degree, all they needed is an army of people to stand behind them. So I launched this program that we have here at U of H. It's called the TRIO programs. I was over the student support services and the talent search program. And just in a course of 1 year, we were to serve 600 students. That's what the grant said we were supposed to do. We served more. But the grant said we served 600. And our main goal was to help them get out of secondary ed and graduate. And our objective, for those of you who love logistics and stuff, our objective was to graduate 75% of those low-income first students that no one thought could make it, that they were at risk. I flipped the equation. And I said, these students are not at risk. We are at risk for losing their talent pool, for changing our world in some very measurable way. So I'm proud to say that through that life-changing quest, not only did those students change my life, but we graduated 90% of those students, and 90% of them went to college. We used education simply to break those chains of poverty, and those kids are no longer at risk, and neither are we. The other thing that I want to say is the first thing that's going to happen when you get out there in the world and change it is you're going to fail, and that's okay. You're going to fall down, and that's okay too. And you're going to be hit with so many, we've done that already. Oh, you're so new and green. Well, we've tried that before. It doesn't work. And guess what I'm going to tell you? You get back up and you say, okay, we're going to do it again. You hear a no, and what you hear is a not right now. Because life is all about challenges. But as a social worker, you're armed to navigate those mysterious waters, right? You're armed with the measurement and the data resources to really change and influence minds. So, in your own organization, whether you're leading a department or just part of the department, you will fail. And when you do, what's going to help you get back up is sheer grit. And that grit is the same thing that helped you get through the bumps, the test that you didn't, maybe not ace, the professor that really didn't get you. But guess what? You're here. You picked yourself back up. You lick your wounds. You do it all again. And if you are just trying to figure out where that voice comes from, just silence your mind and close your eyes and listen for that voice that tells you, get up. And I want you to get up, because grit will get you up anytime you're knocked down, because you will get knocked down. So I don't say that to say that I've never been knocked down. I have to tell you when someone has just knocked me right out from under my feet. And it was early in my career, and you work those dog-crazy hours all day long. You're putting in 60 hours a week because, one, we bleed cougar red, which means we know that we're out there to change the world. And we're better than some of those non-red-hued college people. And so when it was time for a change in the department, there was an opportunity for a promotion. And I was promised that promotion. April, you are going to get this promotion. You've done so much in this department. We're so excited for you. And then we changed the name on the door. Everything was set in place. And then all of a sudden, my dean comes to me and she says, you know, we're going to have to go a different way because there's someone else in the department that's actually been here longer than you have, and we feel like she deserves a chance to get this promotion. But next time, you're going to get that promotion. So, of course, I was pretty pissed. Can I say that? I was pretty pissed. And I go back into the corner of my office, and I'm looking at it, and I said, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit. Because there is another organization that wants to hire April Day, and I am going to be there because I am destined to change the world. And as soon as I said that, I realized that maybe it wasn't time for me to get that promotion. Maybe there's more work for me to do in this department. And I stayed. I got right back up. I faced all those individuals that said, oh, my God, I thought you were going to get the promotion. Oh, my God, how can she face herself? I got right back up, and I smiled like it didn't even matter, and I still got the promotion in my own head, and that's how I operated. I mean, if it's meant to be, it's going to be mine anyway. No one can take it away. So I just operated as if I had the promotion, and that person lasted 6 months, and I eventually got the promotion. Sheer grit will get you up when you get knocked down. Just listen for the voice. And if you're pursuing your passion and you keep in mind that you're there to change lives, grit will make it happen every time. So the other thing that I want to share is that you be fearless. Be fearless. And don't ever let your joy of why you're doing what you're doing escape you. Be fearless in your pursuit. It doesn't mean that you don't have fear at all. It's not the absence of fear. But what I mean by fearless is facing that fear right in the face, poking at that bear and exposing it for what it is, just something that might be unknown. But you have every skill, you have every tool, and you have every resource. And if you are missing something, I want you to look to your neighbor. Look to your neighbor. If there's no one there, look behind you. There's your resource. You are a cohort of strong, innovative, disruptive collaboration. Be fearless together, and there's nothing that can stop you from what you want to do. So I'll tell you a story about where I really had to be fearless, because you will hear a lot of no's, especially when you're disruptive in thought and want to change the way things are because you're awesome cougars. I wanted to do this global mission for our women business owners. And the reason why this global mission was so important is because we're in a globalized economy. So it's not enough to just work in our small little microcosm, right? And if we want to move toward economic prosperity, we've got to reach across our own borders. And who are the most amazing at innovation and collaboration but small business owners, entrepreneurs? So think of your social work as that socialpreneurism, right? So I told the board I had this great idea. I had it all planned. I had the data and everything, the measurements, the impact that we were going to make, and what we were going to do in the country that we were going to, which was China. And all I kept hearing is, why China? You can't go. Where's the money coming from? Whose idea is this anyway? What does it matter, I would say in my brain, but you can't talk to your board that way. So I went and I found the data. And then I started looking at other organizations that had the same vision and dream that we had at WBEA. And we collaborated. And then we came back stronger and said, we're going to China. It's scheduled for this date. We've selected these women. We're meeting with these policymakers. This is a change that we're bringing back in the small business workforce. This is the impact that we're going to have on the youth in China when we talk about what they can do with their country and in business. Did I get a yes? Not yet. They just weren't ready for me. And that's how the world is going to be sometimes. They're just not ready for you, but you keep pushing. So I created all the marketing materials, and then I did a press release. And at that point, I basically said how amazing our board is for getting behind this idea. And I made it theirs. I gave away that credit because I was going to be in pursuit of making sure that we can create some valuable impact for this community. Did I get a yes? Absolutely, I got a yes. And we went to China. It was so very unexpected. So when you are fearless in your pursuit of doing good, doing something purposeful, when you are listening to that inner voice tell you to get up when you get knocked back down, I have one last quote for you. And it is by Linda Berry. And it is, expect the unexpected, and whenever possible, be the unexpected. 2016 graduates of social work, you are the unexpected. Be fearless. Pursue your passion. Use sheer grit to get you up and change lives. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you today. Go Cougs.